Rumors of a tragic diagnosis have shaken André Rieu's inner circle, and now his son has stepped forward to break the silence. Sudden farewells, unexpected cancellations, and emotional moments behind the scenes suggest that something serious may be happening. Could this mark the end of an era? Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe for updates. André Rieu is a name that resonates with elegance, joy, and unforgettable music. For over 50 years, he has been the driving force behind the classical crossover genre, leading the Johann Strauss Orchestra with an energy that seemed to defy time. His concerts were never just performances, they were experiences that uplifted, united, and inspired audiences around the world. However, recently fans who closely followed his career noticed unsettling changes. Tour stops were quietly canceled, and scheduled appearances were postponed without much explanation. For an artist as devoted and consistent as André, even the slightest disruption was enough to cause concern. Speculation began to grow online. Was it simple exhaustion, scheduling conflicts, or was something more troubling happening behind the scenes? Throughout it all, André remained silent. He continued to smile on stage, waved to adoring fans, and kept the music alive until he no longer could. It was then that his son, Pierre Rieu, stepped forward, revealing what many had feared: André was battling a serious health issue. This wasn't a minor illness or lingering jet lag, it was something far more serious. This time, Pierre's tone carried a gravity that hinted at a deeper, more life-altering challenge, a turning point for a man who had always seemed to dance effortlessly through life, violin in hand. To grasp the gravity of André's current situation, it helps to revisit a moment when his health had previously forced him off the stage. In 2010, during what was supposed to be a relaxing vacation in Belgium, André faced a terrifying episode. He awoke at 3 a.m. to find the room spinning uncontrollably. Initially, he couldn't understand what was happening. By morning, he felt utterly broken, as though something inside him had snapped. Doctors diagnosed him with vestibular neuritis, an illness that inflames the inner ear and severely disrupts balance and coordination. Even simple movements left him dizzy and nauseated. Standing was a challenge, let alone performing in front of thousands. At the time, André had been pushing himself relentlessly, juggling multiple projects, learning new languages, and enduring extreme heat and exhaustion. He later confessed that he lived at only two speeds, full throttle or a complete stop. Following his diagnosis, doctors advised him to cancel upcoming performances, including major tours across the UK and Australia. It was an unprecedented move for André, but for once, he had no choice but to listen. His recovery took months, during which he followed balance exercises suggested by fans and reevaluated his priorities. It was a difficult but necessary lesson, one he seemed to embrace, at least for a while, until symptoms eventually returned years later. The latest health scare began just as André made his long-anticipated return to Mexico after 6 years. The excitement was palpable, with thousands of fans, some traveling for days, filling the venues in eager anticipation. The first 2 concerts in Mexico City went off without a hitch, and everything seemed to be proceeding as planned. Then, without warning, André fell ill. Less than 24 hours after his second performance, he developed a severe flu accompanied by a high fever and overwhelming fatigue. Initially, his team hoped it was something he could push through, but it quickly became clear that he couldn't. Later, his son Pierre revealed just how difficult the decision was. The altitude in Mexico City, combined with jet lag and lack of rest, had created a perfect storm. André had only 1 day to recover after a long flight before stepping onto the stage, and it simply wasn't enough. Pierre admitted that although André tried to stay strong, his condition quickly worsened. The team had no choice but to cancel the rest of the tour and rush André back home. The news was devastating for fans, many of whom had waited years for this opportunity. Every detail had been carefully planned, merchandise printed, stages built, flights booked. Over 120 members of André's crew were also affected. Cancelled performances meant financial losses and emotional stress, made even worse by the fact that they weren't insured for this situation. Despite the heartbreak, Pierre reminded everyone that health must come first. However, this moment revealed something deeper. It wasn't just a passing illness. It was a clear sign that André's body was calling for rest. At 74 years old, André Rieu still moves with the energy and grace that defies his age. But reality is beginning to catch up. Pierre acknowledged what many hesitate to admit: touring the world at this stage of life takes a heavy toll, especially with long-haul flights, time zone changes, and performances at high altitudes. Mexico City, sitting over 2,000 meters above sea level, presents a tough environment, not just for athletes, but for anyone pushing their limits on stage. Even André's lead singer, Dunnage Van Dorn, suffered nosebleeds and extreme fatigue, at one point needing to pause mid-song just to hydrate. Emma, another singer, described the emotional roller coaster of performing for 10,000 fans one night and facing the cancellation of the tour the very next day. Pierre admitted that traveling to faraway places like Mexico and Australia may no longer be realistic. It's not just about André anymore, it's about the health, energy, and well-being of the entire team. Backstage, André confided to his wife that he wasn't sure he could endure another tour like this. The warning signs had been there. He was feeling the strain. And when the music finally stopped, the message was unmistakable: change was necessary before things grew even worse. This wasn't the first time André Rieu had to step back for reasons beyond his control. In 2016, fans were stunned when multiple shows were abruptly canceled. Many feared that André was facing another health crisis. But the truth turned out to be different, and even more emotional. One of his trusted orchestra members had passed away unexpectedly, and André was deeply devastated. He hadn't just lost a colleague, he had lost a dear friend. The grief hit him hard, and he needed time to mourn. For André, the Johann Strauss Orchestra isn't just a group of performers, it's his extended family. Every tour, every concert is a shared journey. So when news recently surfaced that a current orchestra member had suffered a heart attack before a show in the UK, fans once again felt a deep collective concern. Once again, the concert had to be postponed, and a new date remains uncertain. A pattern is becoming more evident. Emergencies, emotional strain, and physical exhaustion are all taking their toll. These moments remind us just how much André has given to his craft. But they also reveal that even the strongest need time to pause, reflect, and heal, even when their hearts are eager to keep going. After returning home, Mr. André took time to rest, and in those quiet days, he came to a realization he never thought he would admit. He could no longer perform at the same relentless pace. His legs began to tremble before he stepped onto the stage. His energy was dwindling, and he feared he might collapse mid-performance. That fear became the turning point. The decision to cancel wasn't only based on medical advice, it was deeply emotional, pushing André to reconsider what lies ahead. Pierre later shared that they no longer plan to reschedule the canceled Mexico concerts, as the risk is simply too great. Even if André makes a full recovery, trips requiring long-distance travel may no longer be part of his schedule. Though he still hopes to perform later this year in Chile, Argentina, and Colombia, nothing is guaranteed anymore. From now on, the plan is to move forward cautiously, taking it 1 year at a time, one concert at a time. The focus is shifting to performances in Maastricht, where André can rest between shows and carefully manage his time. He is stepping away from media interviews, business openings, and non-essential appearances. Safeguarding his health isn't about giving up, it's about ensuring he can continue doing what he loves but in a healthier, more sustainable way. During the global lockdown, when stages stood empty and audiences fell silent, André stumbled upon an unexpected comfort: baking. He found peace in simple recipes and late-night baking tutorials on his iPhone. Before long, it became more than a pastime, it became therapy. His baked creations soon appeared across social media, bringing smiles to fans who were missing his concerts. Eventually, he even secured a spot on the Dutch version of the Great British Bake Off, known as Heel Holland Bakt. However, when asked whether he would ever trade music for baking, André laughed and answered with a firm, absolutely not. His love for music runs too deep. Baking became a way to unwind, not a substitute for the immense joy he experiences on stage. Even in the quiet of his kitchen, his heart remained loyal to the music. Touring might change, but his identity would not. The violin may rest more often, but it is certainly not going anywhere. André simply needed to adjust his rhythm, and perhaps savor a slice of cake along the way. From his serene home in Maastricht, André Rieu has reshaped his definition of happiness. He no longer chases every opportunity. Instead, he treasures the few that truly matter. His summer concerts in the Vrichthof are now his central focus, intimate, beautiful, and close to home. He no longer feels the need to be everywhere. Instead, he invites the world to come to him. André often jokes that he plans to live until 140. And while he may not mean it literally, the spirit behind the words shows his enduring optimism. He still carries big dreams, fresh ideas, and endless creativity. He isn't finished, he's just adjusting the tempo. What's your favorite André Rieu moment? Share it in the comments. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe to, and click the next video on your screen.